Hello and welcome. So, I figured I would give you guys an update on my haunted doll because let me tell you, a lot has happened since the last time we spoke. If you're new here, just to recap a little, I got a haunted doll. I got a phone call from psychic medium Sam that her and her friend previously went to get these haunted dolls. The other girl, however, was having trouble with her doll. It was tormenting the husband. I didn't get a whole lot of details. I just knew I had to pick it up that day. Like it was so severe that they needed her out of the house, or her, him, I don't know. They needed the doll out of the house that day. So of course I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Got the doll. All I know is that he was feeling unwell. He was having really negative thoughts when this doll was around, and everything went back to normal as soon as I got rid of the doll. So I got the doll, and I've had many haunted dolls over the span of many, many years. I have one that I truly think is genuinely haunted. The other ones, it's kind of like some stuff will happen and then it goes quiet. So I don't know if it's just like I'm imagining that the doll's haunted, or maybe the doll is haunted and then the spirit flies away. I don't know how this stuff works. So speaking about this, I was like asking myself this question recently. And if you have an answer to this or your own theory, please leave it in the comments because I am so curious to hear. I was sitting here and thinking because all this really crazy stuff is happening. And I'm like, why are dolls always thought to be haunted? Like, yeah, there's like other haunted objects like a haunted chair or a haunted mirror or whatever, but most commonly it seems to be dolls. And I think a lot of this ties into the fact of like scammers. You know, if you go on eBay and type in haunted doll, there's 3,000 haunted dolls. And I think a lot of people just like go to the thrift store, get dolls, and make up a story and sell them. However, there has been proof of like real haunted dolls throughout history. So why are dolls like why is it the doll? Why is it the doll? I've tried to like kind of come up with my own theory, and I'm like, maybe because the owner, I mean, this would only make sense more so for a child, but if the owner, the child, has a doll that's like their baby. Like I know when I was young, I would have a doll and like that was my baby. I was attached to it, or like my baby blanket, like couldn't sleep without it. Um so like if they pass away, maybe their energy's left on the doll because that was their thing. But like if it's an older person and like that's just something they owned, like why would their spirit be attached to that doll? Like I don't know. I've questioned this and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The other theory, I feel like I've heard this before. I don't think I've came up with this in my own head, but people say because it represents a human form, like it looks most human. So there's another theory for you. So I decided to Google why are dolls haunted, and I figured we will go through it together. I haven't read any of this yet, so let's get there. So I think I have like 3 tabs open. Yeah. Okay. What website is this? AdelaideHauntedHorizons.com Australia. Okay. So see, I don't know how reliable these sources are. I'm just trying to dig. I'm just curious about people's theories. Shout out Spirit Halloween. Okay. Have you noticed a rise in haunted dolls lately? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the people they're like, this is a good business idea, and then they're not genuine about it and they're just selling dolls from Savers thrift store. Infiltrated price. I mean, if it works for them, it's I could never do it because I have a conscience, but like that's a good idea. Like make up a crazy story, make the doll like super spooky and just throw it up on eBay. Let's see. Okay. See, it's crazy too because I have, like I said, many dolls, and like I have 2 specifically. They're too high up by my ceiling. I can't get them to you guys. Maybe next time. But there's these 2 really like if I see any doll in the world, like, and those are in the bunch, I'm like, oh, those 2 are haunted. But nothing ever happened with them. They're not, and I'm disappointed, but they look cool. and they're definitely old. Like they're from like the 1800s. They're like they've got like metal heads. Like, it's cool. Okay, brief history. Dolls have been around thousands of years. Yeah, that's true. Oh, this is a lot to read, man. Mm. Okay, here we go. There has been a belief that ghosts or spirits can attach themselves to items such as jewelry or furniture, and there are many stories regarding this. I don't want to read her story. Okay, well, she's talking about how other items are haunted too. So yeah, that that aligns with what I said. All right, I don't like this website too much. Okay, and then we went to Wikipedia. They gained attention in the 20th century when film and entertainment. Okay. See, Hollywood's got us going with the haunted dolls, just like Ouija boards. I'm not saying Ouija boards don't work. I mean, people think they're evil, and that's all just because of Hollywood movies. Like, there's nothing evil about a Ouija board. I'll say it again. There's nothing evil about a Ouija board. Oh, but I digress. Okay, Chucky. Chucky started it. That makes sense. Notable haunted dolls. Okay, here we go. We got Robert the doll. I want to see Robert the doll. I really do. I'm going to make a trip out there, so stay tuned for that. Annabelle. Letta the doll. I've never heard of this one. Oh, it's Australia. Oh, mate, got Letta the doll. I think that was British. Sorry about that, guys. Okiku. That sounds Japanese or something. Yeah, Japanese. Fun fact, guys. I can count in Japanese. Hold on. Okay, if I have any Japanese followers, this is, it's been a long time since I've done this, so don't judge me. It's probably a little off. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roko, sishi, hashi, ku, ju, juich, ju ni, ju san, ju ji, ju go, ju roku, ju sishi, ju hashi, ju ku, ni, shu. That was a tongue twister. There we go. That is some Japanese for you guys. Mandy the doll. Yeah, okay, so Hollywood played into this. People saw it as a business idea. They're like, I can sell these. Brief history of dolls. Ancient Egyptians. Okay, here we go. Now we're on to something because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I go into those deep, dark rabbit holes of ancient Egypt and aliens, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of believe that stuff, so. Yeah, I mean, they were onto something with the dolls. They represent evil forces. Okay. They believe dolls were made from the bodies of humans who died in a violent death and were used in rituals. I like this theory the best. Yeah, so I think just things passed on over time. But anyway, I am going to I've been writing down everything because I feel like things happened and then I'll forget. And I really have been trying to genuinely research this doll because there's something up with her. I'm telling you guys, like, I got the doll and I really was skeptical because of my experience with haunted dolls, and most of them are disappointing to me. So when I got this and things were actually like for real going down, I was like, shit. So, first thing I wrote down on the page of synchronicities. So, if you recall, I told you guys previously that the first thing that was happening is I was having insane vivid dreams. I would be in a car every time with people I don't know, but in the dream I seem to know them. And every time we would go off the side of like a highway or a cliff, like the car falling, and most of the time it would be into water from what I remember. And then I would die, and in the dream it feels so real that uh, it's very disturbing. I haven't had the dreams since the last time I talked to you guys. I've had really creepy, crazy dreams, but none of those. It was like every night reoccurring dream, same thing. Super weird. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking, is this doll trying to tell me something? Is this, what happened to the owner or whoever's attached to the doll? And you know what? I'm gonna pull her up. I do have a camera on her behind me. There she is, the doll in question. And I have a REM pod next to her. It's been on there for a bit and it hasn't gone off yet. She's done it before, so we'll see. So I don't know her name yet, by the way. I haven't gotten that information. I'm just doing this really slow and steady investigation, trying to stay safe. Because as we get into these details, you guys will see what I mean. Like, there's really some weird stuff happening concerning. So I had the dreams. Then I post the video about the dreams, and the previous owner of this doll contacts me. She's like, I just watched your video. And she was like, this is crazy because I didn't tell you about this. But I believe she said it was the first night they had the doll, or the first night the husband really started getting affected by the doll. He had a crazy vivid dream, like so vivid he woke up and was still affected by it, similar to my experience. And it was a dream about a car accident and he died. I believe she said his, though, he was drunk driving. And in my dreams, I'm not the driver, I'm in the back seat. So, ooh, look, I got chills. Wait, can you guys see that? Wait, my tattoos are not gonna, there's too many tattoos. Anyway, I have goosebumps on my entire body because just the thought of that, like she never told me that, and just that synchronicity is honestly just the start of it, just the tip. So moving on. So shortly after having those dreams, I was on my way to the strip area. I live in Las Vegas. I was near the strip. I was going to this specific store to get these shoes. Not a great area. So go to the store, get my shoes. I was backed into the parking spot. I pull forward, and the button that is on my shift knob pops off, and I can't get my car to park. My car is stuck in the middle of this very narrow, dangerous, busy parking lot, and I have no way to move it. And my anxiety is peaking. So, yeah, it was just so weird. I've never had anything break in this car. I've had it for, I don't know, like a year. It's an Alfa Romeo Stelvio. It's a beautiful car, but it hasn't had problems so far. So, moving on, go to get the car fixed. It was a very difficult process, and the total that came back to me, which if you guys want proof, I have the invoice for it, it was $666 even. Yeah. Okay. Now, when I gave this information to the previous owner, I started telling her more stuff because I was like, what if there's more synchronicities that I'm not aware of? And she said, oh my God, that's crazy, because the day after he had that dream, I believe, the check engine light went on in his car. So we're both having the same dreams. We're both having mysterious car problems. All of these things on their own wouldn't seem strange, but because of just the synchronicity of it, and it's both happening to us after we get this doll, and it gets deeper than this. So hang in there for the story. One night, I think this was before the car trouble, I was leaving to go investigate, find some ghosts, and right before I leave, I always say bye to my dog, of course, and I'm looking for her to say bye, and I'm like, I can't find her. I'm calling her. She's not coming to me, and that's unheard of. Like, she's my shadow. So I find her in Tanner, my boyfriend's studio room, and she's like hiding under his desk, and she's shaking. I'm like, what happened? Like, why is she acting like this? I've never seen this before. So I have to leave. I leave. And Tanner said once I left, she was freaking out. So much. He had to pick her up. She looks in his doorway and like looking like up and down, like she's seeing someone. So she wouldn't calm down. He had to close the bedroom door, put her on the chair. She eventually fell asleep. So that's not like my dog. Like, especially even when I've had haunting or like haunted objects in my house with strange occurrences, she never notices stuff. She's very old and she's not very tapped in, I would say. So that was strange. Now, moving on, I feel like there's some things I missed, but back to the car trouble. So I haven't messed with the doll much since all of that because I genuinely am like, I don't know what I'm dealing with here. I don't know the magnitude of this haunting, and maybe it's all a coincidence, but maybe it's not. And I would like to say, stay on the safe side of this. So I go to this investigation. Oh, you know what? This putting things together in my head here while I'm saying this out loud. I'm leaving to this investigation and I take the doll with me. I was like, let me just bring her. It'd be fun. It's a little road trip to a haunted place. She might want to go. That's when Kiki was freaking out. That when I left with the doll, that's when Kiki was freaking out. Interesting. So I leave to go on this spooky road trip to Rhyolite Ghost Town with a fellow investigator, and I have this doll in the back seat, and she is buckled in. I want to make sure she's safe. I'm treating her as a human. Like I feel like there's something in that body there. And we get to this point of the road trip where, pretty far away, and we passed a sign on the side of the road. I didn't see it. She did. She said, hey, there's a sign on the side of the road with the pentagram on it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And as soon as I say this, the doll falls over. Like, she's not in the seatbelt anymore. And then at the same time, like, this is all happening very quickly. And then a rock comes out of nowhere. There's no cars in front of me at this point. There's 0 cars. Because, rocks get kicked up by trucks, hit your windshield. It happens. However, I don't know where this rock came from. In front of me, it seems like it came from the sky. Like, it just dropped, cracks my windshield. And then as that happens, the car behind me decides to pass me. And their license plate was 22222. I believe it was twos. It was like a series of 4 numbers, like an angel number. And I'm just like, what is going on? What's going on? What's the deal? So yeah, after that, I'm like, she doesn't belong in the car. I guess that's getting spooky. I mean, the first one already cost me $666. I swear to God, if I get my windshield replaced and it's like the same, like 666, like she's out. How you feeling back there? You want to touch that REM pod? I do want to say though, I was having a lot of things happen at night for a bit, and it's been pretty quiet lately. This reminds me of another thing. I forgot to write this down, and this is very important. So Tanner, my boyfriend, is skeptical, as you guys know, of everything paranormal, and it's great because he grounds me, because sometimes I get worked up and I'm like, it's all a ghost. And then he brings me back down to earth. And there was nights in a row that I woke up hearing this like muffled music and like I want to say like a chanting, like a weird like yelling, and I can't tell what it was saying, but it sounded like a man, and it sounded like it was coming from the side of the house. And it's loud. It's not a dream. I 100% heard this, and it is extremely scary and disturbing, and I lost a lot of sleep over this. And I didn't tell Tanner because I didn't want him to be scared, and he didn't want me to bring this doll home in the first place because, it was tormenting a man. And I'm like, I'm bringing this man tormenting doll into the house. He wasn't happy about it. And one day he comes up to me and tells me, he's like, I wasn't going to say anything, but I've been hearing, like, I wake up and I hear like a man chanting, like he's saying something. And I keep forgetting I wanted to write it down of like what he was saying. And I'm like I genuinely didn't say anything. And I was even like questioning myself for hearing it. And whatever it was though, Tanner knew what it was saying. Like he heard it clear enough to know what it was saying, but he can't remember. I didn't hear what it was saying. I heard something. So we were hearing the things on the same night and just like pretending to sleep and not waking each other up. So that was another weird thing. And he didn't say anything about the music. I was definitely hearing music to the point where one night I got up 3 times to come to this side of the house to make sure. I was like, there has to be music on somewhere. Like there's there's no way there's not music playing somewhere in this house. And I come over here, I don't hear it, lay back down, it's quiet, and it goes back again. It's like this like old, creepy, muffled music. I'm like, am I turning schizophrenic? Like, what's happening? But besides the last car incident, as far as in my house, I don't want to jinx this, but I haven't noticed that much activity, but I haven't been messing with her. I do want to try like another spirit box session, I guess, at some point. Um, I'll either do a live or I'll do it on something like this to show you guys, because we don't even know its name yet. Like, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I've asked, didn't get any information. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, you do what you want. But I love you guys, and thanks for supporting me. Thanks for hanging around. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. See ya.